Good day, everyone. You are now listening to Sonic Paradox Radio, broadcasting from Station Square. I'm your host, Dr. Foxx, and have we got a show for you. This 1 hour special broadcast will have everything from music, an interview or two, advertisements for products and services that you may need, and news from around the city. Before we really get started, this show is brought to you by Sonic Paradox. That's Sonic Paradox, easily one of the best Sonic fan sites on the net. Google us or visit us at sonicparadox.webege.com. In case you're wondering, Sonic Paradox does not seem to have a slogan, so I'm making it up as I go. This show is also brought to you by Birdtown Studios and made possible by Sonic Team. Sonic Team! Our next game will be great! We promise. Maybe. Right. Please keep in mind that all copyrighted characters, songs, names, and places are copyright to the prospective owners, which include, but are not limited to, Sega and Sonic Team. All original content, including original writing and music, is copyright 2010 and 2011 to me, Philip Byard, alias Dr. Mack Foxx, and John Weeks, also known as SBO Chaos. We hope you all enjoy the show. How about we get things started off with some tunes? There certainly is a great library of remixed and rearranged songs from every Sonic the Hedgehog game you can imagine. Some of us may even recall a very talented MIDI composer by the name of John Weeks, alias SBO Chaos. From 1998 to 2006, John made hundreds of MIDI files from just about every Sonic game, from the very first released on the Sega Genesis in 1991, all the way up to Sonic Heroes and beyond. These MIDIs were, and still are, stellar reproductions of classic and popular tunes from the Sonic universe. Keep in mind that back in the late 90s and early 2000s, most people still relied on dial-up internet, so downloading MP3s was generally not practical. It could literally take hours to download an album in MP3 format on dial-up, even at subpar quality. MIDI files, on the other hand, are much smaller and thus were much more accessible to everyone, especially those with low connection speeds. Sadly, John's own website, the aptly named sbochaos.com, went offline back in 2009. However, I was able to contact John Weeks, and now he and I are collaborating together to create new covers of songs from various Sonic games. My sound of choice? A piano, electronic arrangement that is pervasive in all my and John's new tracks so far. To start things off, I present the first two remade songs by John and myself. First up is Sonic Adventure, Twinkle Cart Piano, also known as Puppet Panic Zone Act 1, from the Sega Genesis version of Sonic 3D Blast. Enjoy! That last song you heard was also from Sonic Adventure. I call it Twinkle Circuit Piano. If you are noticing similarities in the titles of these tracks, you are not mistaken. I must say, this is quite the world we live in today. Not only do we have some of the greatest, and most infamous, video games ever made at our disposal, but our VG heroes live and walk throughout our world. Tell me, if you ever have an emergency, who should you call? Sonic? No. Tails? No. Amy Rose? No! Call the police, fire department, medics, or whoever it is that you need. Sonic and his friends are great and all, but they can't be everywhere at once. Sheesh.
Sonic, I lost my shoes in the sewer. Would you get them for me? Tails, my kitty is stuck up in that tree. Please save him. Oh, and do look out for all those hornets' nests.
Pfft. Give him a break, guys. Now that I think about it, a lot of events that happened in several Sonic the Hedgehog video games have happened in real life. There are even those who believe that new releases from Sonic Team can tell the future. Moving on, local law enforcement is going to be cracking down extra hard on anyone breaking the speed limit. Speed traps have been set throughout the city and will be in place for a week at the very least. So far, everyone seems to get the message. Sonic, if you're listening to this, better be careful out there, because I have a feeling that their primary target is you. You think the officers would be more concerned about Dr. Eggman, but go figure. Speaking of Eggman, how about a few tracks even that lunatic would enjoy? Our next tunes are sponsored by Dr. Eggman's Junkyard. Okay, why are we advertising for this guy? Keeps the bills paid? Let me see. Very well then. Again, that's Dr. Eggman's Junkyard, where today's scrap becomes tomorrow's super weapons. Next up, from the very first Sonic the Hedgehog game, it's Scrap Brain Zone Piano, followed closely by the Final Zone Piano, by John Weeks and me, Dr. Foxx. We hope you like these songs. I'm back now, everybody, and it is time for some news. This one is just in from the Emerald Coast. Apparently, Chris Thorndike, friend of Sonic the Hedgehog, and troll magnet to the rest of us, was found floating and badly injured in the otherwise pristine waters off the Emerald Coast. Chris was rushed to the nearest hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. Who says continues are worthless these days, huh? Officers at the scene suspect no foul play. Our reporters were there to interview the police captain on duty at the time. This is what he had to say.
We completely discredit anything this crazy kid has to say. He keeps babbling on about some kind of giant, angry black hedgehog. But we know this information is false. This is clearly attempted suicide. How can I tell, you ask? Well, from what we can gather, he stabbed himself in the back 3 times and then jumped off a nearby bridge.
Just between you and me, listeners, I would have been much happier if Big the Cat were at the center of this mess instead. Wouldn't you?
Froggy, where are you?
Somebody get that thing out of my studio? Much better. Well, I do believe it's time for a few more songs. These next tracks are brought to you by Shipping Incorporated. No matter who you are or where you came from, we'll always pair you up with someone. Like it or not. Speaking of romance, the Green and Emerald Hills, when they aren't crawling with Robotnik's killer robots, are always a great place for a picnic or for just watching the sunset. But, like I said, only when the area isn't overrun with badniks. Those last tracks you just heard were Green Hills Zone Piano and Emerald Hills Zone Piano by John Weeks and yours truly. Next up, we have a public service announcement. Pay attention, everyone. This stuff is important. Can't help but think I've heard someone say that before. Anyway, whatever you do, stay away from the Tails doll. That is all. Time for some more tunes. These next tracks are sponsored by Robotnik Chemical Unlimited. That's Robotnik Chemical Unlimited. We promise that everything we produce is completely harmless and safe, though we would recommend not taking a bath in our products or trying to breathe them. Again, why are we advertising for this wacko? You just heard Chemical Plant Zone Piano, followed by Oil Ocean Zone Piano. These tracks, again, were put together by John Weeks and me. By the way, all the remade music in this program is available for download in the Newgrounds audio portal. Just go to drmack foxx.newgrounds.com/audio to find the tracks you've heard so far, and much more. Speaking of downloads, John and I recently released a complete fan album, which contains covers of all the songs and jingles from the very first Sonic the Hedgehog game on the Sega Genesis. This was done to celebrate the recent 20th anniversary of the Blue Blur himself. Just go to the Sonic Paradox forums at s14.envisionfree.com/Sonic_Paradox. From there, click on the forums section labeled Audio Board. From there, click on the section labeled as Sonic Music. Once you have entered this section of the forums, just look for and then click on the thread titled Sonic the Hedgehog Piano Redux, a fan album. This page will give you information about this album and where you can download it. In fact, if any of you have a cover or remix of a song from a Sonic game that you think should be heard on this program, well, I want to help promote your work. Just drop me a private message at the Sonic Paradox forums with a link to your song. So long as the quality of your track is good, chances are I will feature it in my next broadcast. Just remember that your track must be hosted at a site such as SoundCloud or the Newgrounds audio portal, where I can easily download your track for use in this program. My username on Sonic Paradox is DRMACKFOXX. I suspect you're getting tired of me rattling on, aren't you? Well, I have just the thing for that. More songs! Just to mix things up a bit, this next pair of tracks is from Sonic Adventure 2, and they are brought to you by Shadow the Hedgehog's Identity Recovery Services. We'll help you find out who you really are, even if the entire world has to be destroyed in the process. You just heard Vengeance is Mine for Radical Highway, followed closely by Soaring Over the Space for Cosmic Wall. Both tracks were by the musical geniuses of Sonic Team. If only the plots of their many games in the last 5 years or so were as good as the soundtracks. Say, do you have any requests for official tracks that you want heard in this program? Just drop me a private message at the Sonic Paradox forums. I have a vast collection of music from just about every Sonic game, between the 1991 Sega Genesis Classic up to Sonic Heroes and beyond. So, drop me a line, and your request could appear on the next edition of this show. Up next is another story just breaking this evening. Apparently, Dr. Eggman's gigantic flying fortress, known as the Egg Carrier, recently crashed off the Emerald Coast. Our reporters were on the scene as Dr. Eggman. Or is it Dr. Ivo Robotnik? Never mind. Anyway, Eggman was more than willing to explain the situation to us.
In regards to all the questions about this being an accident, I have this to say. I crashed the egg carrier on purpose. Soon it will sink to the bottom off the coast, providing a starting point for a new coral reef. It will be a marine wildlife sanctuary in a matter of years. I can assure you all, no toxic chemicals or fuels remain on board. After all, I wouldn't want to poison the entire ecosystem now, would I? Of course not. On this you can trust me. I'm a doctor after all. See? I'm not such a bad guy after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, no more questions. I have a giant missile to launch. If you see it fly over the city, there is no need to panic. Believe me, it won't be something you'll need to worry about. Not for long, anyway.
Just between you and me, I wouldn't trust that guy any further than I could throw him. Considering how overweight he is, I would not be able to toss him very far. And what's with him saying that no toxic chemicals or fuel remain on board that monumental wreck? Sounds to me like anything nasty probably already seeped out into the bay by now. Yes, I'll have the fish and chips. Hold the motor oil. Greenpeace will have a field day with this one. Oh? Wait. Did Dr. Eggman just say something about a giant missile? Could be worse. Imagine if the entire city were to flood all of a sudden. Yeah, like that'll ever happen. Time for some more good music. A few more of my and John Week's covers. We hope you enjoy listening to these remakes of both acts of Hydro City Zone from Sonic 3. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing like some great songs to help you forget that Dr. Eggman nearly blew all of us and Station Square to steaming bits. Right? Right. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Dr. Mack Foxx, and you are listening to Sonic Paradox Radio. We have more tunes and other stuff lined up for you today, so let's get back on track. But first, we have breaking news! In case you just missed it, Dr. Eggman nearly blasted all of Station Square to Kingdom Come. While the nefarious doctor did manage to escape, it has come to light that Tails, real name Miles Prower, has saved our city from certain doom. We had reporters on the way, but much to our surprise, Tails was nowhere to be found. All our teams discovered was another one of Eggman's wrecked machines. I believe it was called the Egg Walker. Judging from the pictures I've seen that were just emailed to me, it would appear that Dr. Eggman is going to have to make some serious changes to the design. The smoldering pile of scrap metal is probably a good testament to my suspicions. Even though our hero was nowhere to be found, eyewitnesses say Tails was locked in a life-or-death race with Dr. Eggman, with the victor being the one who would either defuse or detonate the missile. I've always been a fan of racing, so how about we kick back to a few classics from Sonic R? These tunes are brought to you by the Sonic R Foundation. Remember, everyone is supersonic racing, and when you are supersonic racing, there is no time to look around. We have the songwriting legend Richard Jacques as the composer, and T.J. Davis on vocals. So, please enjoy Supersonic Racing and Can You Feel the Sunshine? Now, please excuse me while I calmly go have a heart attack.
We're nearly out of time, but you're doing fine.
Those tracks were brought to you also by Sonic Team. They are Sonic Team. Our next game will be great. We promise. Maybe. Yeah. Well, I think that about closes off our program for now. Hopefully, things won't be getting so crazy around Station Square again for quite some time. Believe me, I have this feeling that if things get out of hand around here again, it'll be too soon. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Sonic Paradox Radio. Hopefully, I'll be back next week with more sweet tunes, interviews, news, and other stuff. Before I go, I'll leave you with one last track. This one is, once again, by John Weeks and myself. I give to you Sonic the Hedgehog, credits piano. This is Dr. Mack Foxx of Sonic Paradox Radio, bidding you good evening and signing off for now. Catch ya on the flip side.